Collective, hello. I'm Nikki, your local not-so-friendly vegan terrorist. So, we're starting out fast and hot and heavy here. So I went to pull the cards out, and they came out of their band and popped out. And we have the Seven of Swords, Page of Cups, King of Cups, the Fool, right on the top of what flipped out and revealed itself. And they're all in the reverse. So there's some sort of maybe grudge or apprehension you could be dealing with a Pisces in the masculine energy here. And then we have Capricorn energy at the bottom of the feminine deck here. So could check your Saturn placements. You could have a stellium of Capricorn. Let's pull these out. All right. So there is, yeah, I knew that was gonna, okay. That free music thing has ads in it. So there could be something with interruptions. Right now I have my phone leaning up against coconut water. And I was looking everywhere for my stand. Couldn't find it. So I obviously didn't look everywhere, but it's missing in action. And so you could be wanting to start something, masculine or feminine, right? You could be wanting to start something in your life. There could be a big change coming in. The number 13, scorpionic energy, that is change, that's death, rebirth, which is also 4, right? So that's all about balancing. That's the magician, the alchemist, the elementalist, the one who utilizes all of their skills and they come together. So you might feel like you're missing a piece to something that you're wanting to launch, take a leap of faith toward. You know, it feels quite challenging, like it's something you want to take on that's going to be, I was going to say transformative, but then I got translucent. So maybe something with translucent. You know, it's maybe that I was getting a few readings ago. This sense of things coming into focus. So there's this like translucent, transparency. So maybe you're going to be, there's going to be some sort of self-revelation. You're going to realize something about yourself. It's going to bring clarity to maybe ways that you self-sabotage or hold yourself back from, because you're like, oh, I don't have, and this is Virgo energy, I don't have all the pieces, it's not perfect, it's not 100% right, I don't have the thing, so I can't do anything. You know, so there could be this procrastination that is Piscean hangman energy, of waiting. And a lot of people, maybe you know, because the hangman in the upright is someone who knows that they do things differently. And they're okay with that. They're okay with everybody looking at them like they're an animal in a cage, and they're like, what is going on here? It also gives me, you know, that viewing, there could be like this voyeuristic type of energy around you, vulturistic, right? There's like somebody coming in, maybe wanting to like pick up the scraps of all the work that you've done, or kind of like ride the coattails of everything that you've done. So that's how it is. I mean, you're always going to have haters. You're always going to have, you know, evil eye. You're always going to have these lower vibrational things that are trying to keep you stuck and deter you. That's that distraction, that deter, that interruption, or that missing piece. So the funny thing about the devil and God, right? Whatever you call those alternating, intertwined, seemingly opposing energies, right? Masculine, feminine energy, whatever you consider the duality of all creation and destruction. You know, it's that feminine energy of the, oh, it just left. 1 second. Okay. I had to not think about it so that it could come back, because otherwise it would be that thing that you search for and haunts you, and then you wake up at 3 a.m. Like, that's what it is. So whenever it's the detour. It's the divine detour, right? The devil works for the divine, whether they want to or not, right? Because the divine is all encompassing energies. It is the grand collective. It's the grand encompassing energy that runs everything. It is the neutrality of things. Universal energy is neutral, and we are the actual creators that move pieces around. Anyway, I'm not sure why I'm getting into that, but maybe you're revealing something about yourself, and this is part of it. Maybe you resonate with that curiosity, like let's just ponder the universe kind of philosophical. But it feels a little bit more like physics. Maybe you're very much into physics, or one of you or your person is into physics. Coming into this as a love reading, but it could be more about you both as individuals. We'll just see how it comes out. But anytime that there is a detour, right, it's just like in traffic. They're doing road work, right? There's road work being done. There's some sort of hold up. There's some sort of thing you have to wait on. And that detour is something that challenges the ego, because you're like, oh, I'm running late. Now you're kicking yourself because you woke up, you hit the snooze an extra time, whatever. You start getting into those very terrestrial complaints and focuses. And it's their meditations. What is that movie? It's worrying is a meditation on shit. It's a quote from a movie, and I can't think of what the movie is. Worry is a meditation on shit. Anyway, if you know what that is, let me know. Again, that will be the thing that comes to me at 3 a.m. And so you get detoured, and you're looking for reasons to complain about it. But once you come into a place of peace, right? Joy and peace are a state of being. So it's like, I am peace. Peace and joy are not. Happiness is typically determined by external factors or things around us, right? I ate this delicious thing, it made me happy. I watched this thing, I heard this thing, I saw this thing, made me happy, right? It's very terrestrial, which is not bad, right? We all have an ego, so that's there. And you do want to comfort that and not irritate it purposely for no reason. But the detour is actually building you. It's part of it, because you end up taking a scenic route, and then you see a deer or a family playing out in their sprinklers, or you see something that you needed to see. The detour is bringing you something that you needed to see. So it's kind of like the old cartoons. There's like a devil. I'm seeing like this like devilish cartoon. I don't know if this is an actual cartoon, but that old kind of Disney drawing type thing where they're sort of wobbly, and it's lurking into, like the devilish energy does, like the not so grand antagonist of all things comes in to try to deter us. But that detour actually ends up being the necessary distraction for you to see a thing that made you go, oh, I actually want a family. Or you see someone that needs help, and then you realize parts of yourself that need help. Or you realize your purpose, like something that you've always done, and it just all clicks together, that if you hadn't detoured, if you just went straight to work, if you went straight to the hum and drum of the everyday thing, of the same old, you would have missed that. So the devil is actually always working for the divine, whether the devil knows it or not, right? Because lower vibrational energy can't help but be an antagonist. It's like a mosquito. It's like it's necessary for their survival. The snake that bites, it's in its very nature. It's at its very core. Okay. But this feels like you're making a very big life decision. There's some sort of heaviness around. So there's a need to bring levity to your situation. And again, maybe hit the pause button. Take a moment away from it. Stop thinking about it. Stop focusing on the love. Stop focusing on the job, the dream, the whatever. You already dreamt it. So if you know how I at least talk about time, it's already happened. You dreamed it. If you envisioned it, it's a reality. All you got to do is reach out and grab that reality, right? And that is not something that you can do in a terrestrial form, because we're not talking about terrestrial form. So you can't reach for it. You can't actively reach for it. Right? When you reach in the 5D, it's an opening. because the 5D is feminine. So when you reach for something, when you search for something, when you look for something, you're actually opening yourself up to receive it, because active energy is masculine. So masculine is attracted to feminine energy that is open and receptive. So if that could be something that you need to do. Feminines, if you're wanting to get love, yeah, you could be actively looking for it. It's like, no. Be in the state of joy, the state of peace, the state of knowing that you've already envisioned it, you've already felt it, you've already dreamed of it. You know, you woke up from that dream and you're like, that's the life I want. Then you've already experienced it. That peek into the 5D is you saying, okay, I'm acknowledging that there's already a reality in which that is mine. So you just have to succumb to the idea that you are existing in multiple realities as your self, right? Capital self. Okay. I got a lot deeper, but, you know, I did do a wake and bake, so we're rolling with it. We got the hot cocoa here. It's lukewarm cocoa, and it's got a little bit of coffee. So there's a little bit of one. And see, that's with this project, with this thing, and 11:11 on the clock there. It's like there was a little bit of this blueberry coffee left, and I only had a little bit of the cocoa powder left, and I'm like, oh, I like rich cocoa, rich coffee. I like very like dense hot beverages like that. And it wasn't going to be good enough if I just did one or the other. So I mixed them together, but I thought, chocolate, blueberry, we'll see. And it's a masterpiece. It's so good. So it is, it's like you find out that, you know, you discover that this thing you are missing or perceive yourself to be missing is actually the necessary detour, the necessary component to put you on this detour that is going to link you up with your truth, with your divine calling here, which the masculine is viewing as this feminine. Now, I don't entertain third parties or anything like that. I think, you know, if you've followed me for a long time, then you know about the need to be single for at least a year, according to tarot and all of that. So I don't think that this is not to encourage a relationship hopping, but in that very like parabolistic, I don't know if that's a word, but it is now, but that parable-like, you know, analogy that I had there of the being stuck in traffic, and then it's also a metaphor for life and all of that. But in that specific little parable, it's like I'm envisioning a masculine like rushing on their way home to like a very naggy feminine that's like, where are you? Why haven't you messaged me? I came by for lunch, and you know, like there's not a lot of trust. There's no love. It feels very ugly, and that is on a grander scheme, not just in the parable, but like and I don't know why parable. Maybe you're breaking out of some sort of religious upbringing, or coming back to a sense of spirituality from a period away from spirituality, because spirituality was religion to you growing up somehow. So maybe there is like a reluctancy to look into that or use the terms like I'm doing the air quotes with God and the devil. I don't feel the need to do those because I know what I'm talking about for me, and that nomenclature is irrelevant. We're all talking about the same shit. Every religion, we're all talking about the same shit. We just get stuck on nomenclature. But anyway, this masculine is driving home from a job that he hates to, I don't want to say a partner that he hates, but a partner that he doesn't love. He doesn't love these things that he's doing, and he gets detoured, and then he sees, and then I'm getting, probably because I was just watching part of it, Pretty Woman. You know, it's like, oh, he gets detoured. Oh, Sylvester Stallone, maybe something with Sylvester Stallone, or maybe something with L.A. Are they? Yeah. Welcome to Hollywood. I'm like, where are they? And he gets detoured, and then he runs into, you know, the love of his life, for that movie at least. this, and so, I mean, in that he breaks up with a girl just, you know, an hour before he meets her, or 2 hours before he meets her. But there's also this sense of like, maybe you're just getting out of something, and maybe that is part of the reluctancy, is because you're like, oh, I don't want to get into something new with another person. I don't think I'm ready. Maybe there hasn't been enough time. But it's emotionally, you've been pulling away, masculines. You've been pulling away from these feminines that you have been engaging with. So even if there is, he didn't love these feminines in Pretty Woman. You know, they're like, I talked to your secretary. She was like a bridesmaid at my wedding or whatever. You know, and he's like, okay, bye. And it's very cold. There's not any love there. It's very cold and distant. Page of Wands. Yeah, I feel like there's been a idol. A very low idol is the term I'm getting for maybe the romantic life of this masculine. Yeah, Five of Wands in reverse. There's a lot of passionate tension here. They see this feminine that they're dealing with. They see a feminine as the Nine of Pentacles, a very independent, pre-Empress energy. They could be looking at them as the potential, like they could be so much more. Because this Five of Wands in reverse tells me there's some sort of communication or misunderstanding in the 5D. So there's some sort of mistrust with this masculine's intuition in regards to this feminine. But it is like they're at the center of their reading here, or the center of their spread here, this feminine. So it is like their focus. And maybe the masculine needs to like stop looking so hard at this feminine. And maybe they are looking very hard at this feminine. Maybe it's getting them to a place where they don't really trust themselves. It might be a little bit toxic. It might be a little bit like, gosh, I'm obsessed with this feminine. Why am I obsessed with this feminine? I want to bring in a Ace of Pentacles. And an ace with 9 is going to be 10 of Pentacles, which is my favorite card in the decks. It's the growing old together. It is that very much, you know, it could be earth energy here. You could have strong earth placements. I want to see more about this. We're going to pull from the Utah deck to clarify, maybe. Three of Wands, Five of Wands. There's some sort of disagreement that has, I think, changed somebody's plans. This feminine has changed this masculine's plans. Yeah. There's spades. There's a heartbreak or disappointment here, and a 9 of Wands. That's the wounded warrior. Ugh. See, that feels exhausting. This is a very peaceful, loving energy here. But something is blocking, some sort of past energy here is blocking this masculine from trusting their intuition about this feminine. Joker didn't want to come out. The Fool in tarot is the one who takes a leap of faith. Aquarius and Aries energy. That's the person who says, YOLO, fuck it. 8 of Wands. Yeah, I'm going in a brand new direction. I don't care about anybody else's opinions. I don't care about anybody else's influence, the external. Fuck. The 8 of Wands is it's carving a new path. It's going against the grain, but it's doing it in a way that's very creative. And that doesn't have to necessarily be in the arts, right? We create in many ways, right? But this creation here is that launching of, or that merging of, convergence. Oh, who's the producer of that? Convergence. Two of Cups. 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment and a partnership, a romantic partnership. Duh. I mean, that's what we're here for. Ooh. The Empress. But for some reason, she looks like she's sitting on the toilet. And with the rose here, that also gives me that, like, maybe something with, like, EDM or electronic music. I can't think of that other... I don't even remember the lyric now. But I think that was an EDM song. Somebody's out of balance here. The feminine feels out of balance. Okay, so this is like... I'm just going to go with it. It looks like, especially with the hermit, this feminine is terrified to take a leap of faith. Well, we've got the 10 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, which is coming together, merging of assets, merging of resources for love. The number of 6 is the number of love. It's for the community. It's for the collective. But this Empress here, looking like she's sitting on the toilet with that rose, it gives me that song Roses. I walk in the corner with the body screaming dolo. I don't know if that's the lyrics at all, but that's what I sing when that song comes on. So yeah, there is a misinterpretation, miscommunication here. Somebody has the lyrics wrong to this song. But it's almost like, oh yeah, no, my shit don't stink, is kind of what I'm getting with this feminine here. It's an Empress though. And again, this is this pre-Empress energy. So, but this feels like she's faking it because her eyes, she's like, do you think anybody's going to know? This masculine feels a little bit intimidated by this feminine. They don't know how to come forward and communicate with them or take this leap of faith towards this merging of romantic assets, because it's pentacles, a lot of pentacles here, so it feels very planned. It feels like there's a more logical approach to this, pragmatic approach to this union, but or that's how these people are presenting in this when they come together. That's what you're both mirroring to each other. But there's this like combustible material within both of you around each other, because this 5 of Wands is like, it's just like heated. It's heated and it's keeping somebody stuck. So I don't know, maybe this masculine views this feminine as thinking like their stuff don't stink. Or maybe they're putting them on a pedestal because this feminine is the Empress. But an Empress knows that their shit stinks. It's shit. Like, we all got shit. We all got shadows. We all got that stuff. So it's like an Empress and an Emperor, those are individuals who have alchemized their shadows into light. They've transmuted them. There's that this transition, which is eat, pray, love, let's cross over. All I can hear is arrivederci, which is not what she says. That's from 13 going on 30. So there's 13 again, 30, 3s, right? It could be a life path number 3. The Hermit here. This is really where the feminine is, though. They look like this. And to the outside world, they look like very confident. But they feel... This is what she's looking at. This is what this feminine wants. Feminines want the 10 of Cups. And the masculine wants the 10 of Pentacles. But there is that action between bringing this offer forward. Having the confidence to do so. The Hermit, the Lovers, Temperance. Jeez. The Moon. A lot of major arcana. I mean, obviously this is your person, so these are big life tests. What was that fucker? 3 of Cups in reverse. There's fear of Fool in reverse. There's fear of rejection. Six of Cups. Yeah, there's fear of that there's somebody else. Whose fear is this? Could be both. Getting both. Well, that's just stupid. It reminds me of Friends, where Ross is like, yeah, so maybe a friend is like, what are y'all doing? Or you could both be talking to friends about what's going on, and the friends are like, get over it. Five of Swords. Yeah, like the Fool coming out in the upright and then doing a little woohoo loop-de-loop to end up in the reverse. This Fool, there's a lot of fear in the masculine, which is ironic. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, they're withholding their pentacles. High Priestess. This feminine is a mystery to them. It's keeping them in the Hanged Man position. The feminine is in the High Priestess because the feminine is like the star here, Aquarius energy. Very much tapped in. They are in the Empress energy here. And they know, like, none of this shit matters without love. Like, yeah, it's nice to have stability in the real world. The Empress is Libra and Taurus, right? Both which need to feel a balance and fairness, of justice, of judgment, like not feeling judged. This is a feminine who probably was very much judged in the past. And so they're secure in themselves, but there's something insecure here about when it comes to love, or the idea that this dream is possible. Because we have the Ace of Wands. That's the action. Action. So, yeah, Queen of Wands. The feminine needs action. She needs a wand. I mean, this feminine could be, this could be like a shit or get off the pot kind of thing, too. The Hermit. Because the Moon there is lack of clarity. I mean, a Fool in reverse, yeah, is somebody who's not going to be very transparent. Little translucent. It's like they think they're being transparent, but they're actually being translucent. It's a little foggy, right? It's like a frosted window. I was looking at a window earlier that had like the pixelated pattern in it, and the sun was coming through, and the light went all these different directions, right? And that's how we are fragments of this divine prism, and the light comes through us, and we all interpret it different ways and experience it in different ways, but we're all from the same light, right? This is like this gives me, as a person with anxiety, the sense of, because that's what I'm getting here, this feminine looks terrified looking at this Six of Pentacles and Ten of Cups, and then you see this Hermit here, like, no, I'm just going to stay in my shell, I'm not going to go after that. And the Queen of Wands is facing this direction too, like, without action I do not feel safe. And this is like an overthinker, like, you are loved, truly loved, if you're with an overthinker, because they have considered every reason why not to love you, right? Like, and if you're trusted by one, same thing. Like, they have gone through every reason why they shouldn't trust you, or why you could be that antagonist, and not because you're a bad person. It's not personal. When an overthinker does this, this is how they self-preserve. So this is a masculine needing to understand that that has nothing to do with them, possibly. But it's the feminine's receiving information. Light is information. And so it's receiving information from the sun, which is the divine masculine, and we're talking about the moon energy, which is a lack of clarity, confusion, things being hidden in the dark, needing to trust your intuition. So all of this High Priestess, all of this, Piscean energy that's associated with the moon as well, Cancer is as well. It's like this feminine is receiving it, but it's being pixelated. And because it stops at this not transparent glass, it is a translucent or frosted glass. a frosted glass, maybe something with alcohol. There could be alcohol, could be a factor, the consumption or lack thereof. Somebody could be tempted to fall off the wagon or something. And that might not just be with alcohol, but that could be that Capricorn devil energy of like temptations coming around. There are going to be a lot of things on your coattails, a lot of little mosquitoes in your ear. There's going to be a lot of things trying to deter you from this union, because this union is going to be powerful, and devilish energy by its very nature does not want the light to have power, right? It would rather keep things pixelated so that everybody's confused and in fear and unknowing and not stable and not able to feel that sense of peace or joy or stillness, right? This, like, there could be actual people around both of you that are like mosquitoes in your ear, that are, you know, it's like you're trying to be outside and enjoy the night, and mosquitoes are like, I gotta go inside because these mosquitoes are so bad. This is like that you need to stay out here, because maybe when you go to the store to get the calamine lotion or whatever to put on your mosquito bites, you're gonna meet the pharmacist, or you're going to meet somebody at the store, or you're going to run into this person, maybe they're in your community and you already know each other, and you're going to run into each other, and maybe it'll be some ridiculous old Hollywood type meet cute where you both reach for the calamine lotion, you're like, oh, and then you're together forever, right? So it's accepting those kind of possibilities or whatever of the detour. So not getting deterred from this. This hangman is possibly self-sabotage. There is a waiting process here. This pixelated light, though, when it feels like when the light hits that, the information hits that, but because this masculine is using a frosted glass, and they're like, well, it's kind of clear, you know. They know, this masculine knows that they're not being transparent. They're not an idiot. We got the Fool here twice. This person knows that this action is needed. This is also what's wanted. They know they want it. Maybe they don't know that the feminine wants it, right? So there is a need for clarity on both sides. But when it comes to romance, masculine pursues. The masculine needs to be transparent first. Sorry, masculines. You're gonna have to just put all your cards out on the table and just be like, here it is. I don't know what the holdup is here. We'll look a little bit more, but you want the Four of Wands here. I thought that was gonna hurt when I just hit my knee, and it did not. And see, that's kind of this for this situation. You know, masculines. You're making this worse. You're making it worse, first of all, by waiting. You're making it worse in your head by considering all these possibilities, and that's where I keep getting deterred from making this point. Distracted from making this point, Nikki. When the light hits this glass, it could be stained glass and all of that, you know, like that would be very pretty. At least it would be. And maybe this masculine is like, he's so pretty. What is that from? Oh, it's the bugs. It's in their very nature, like a moth to a flame. There is a major attraction here with this Ace of Wands. A bug's life. Where it's like, no, Ernie, don't look at the light. He's like, I can't help it. It's so pretty. That's how I feel like this feminine is looking at this masculine. Maybe this masculine, again, with this laser focus on the feminine, you're both looking at each other like idiots. And you're going to just like bump into each other. I think you will literally bump into, well, maybe not literally. I said literally, and I don't throw that out often. So, unless it's literal. So, maybe you will literally bump into each other. Again, looking for calamine lotion or some meet cute, ridiculous thing. I don't mean to roll my eyes at that, but, because it's very cute. And if it does happen to you, please comment so that other people have hope that it exists. But when the light hits that glass, right? It's like what the feminine receives is a bunch of lights going in a bunch of different directions. And that might seem like, wow, that's really beautiful and all of that. It's so pretty. But it actually is not. It's not beautiful to this feminine soul, because I get a major overthinking where they see all the possibilities of what that information is, because it stops at that glass. It's not fully transparent. This masculine is like, I won't let her see the true me, and that way I can control the outcome. I can control her perception of me. But her perception of you is like, I can't trust that because I can't see what's going on there. And I don't know which way the fucking light's going. And is that light? Is it a flashlight? Is it natural light? I don't know. You know, like, I don't know where it's coming from, and I don't know where it's going, because it could go any direction. They're playing out 100 different scenarios of what this is, you know? Yeah, so it feels like a cliffhanger. There's some sort of cliffhanger here. Maybe somebody ghosted. We have the Chariot here coming out, but there was too much underneath there. Too much underneath it. This is a loaded approach. Damn. Page of Pentacles, because it's been taking a long time. This Rolling Stone is going to come in with a lot of moss. I don't know what that means, but maybe it means something to you. Maybe something with Washington. All right, so we've got the Queen of Wands twice. The Queen of Wands to clarify the Queen of Wands. This feminine gets what she wants, or she'll give it to herself. This is a feminine who doesn't settle. They're in a very powerful energy. They can be quite intimidating. Could be strong fire placements. Going in a new direction. Yeah, see, this is that Eight of Swords. See, all these swords, all this information coming in. It's coming from the bottom up, though. What does that mean? It's coming from the bottom up. From the ground up. More earth energy. I need more information from this masculine. Yeah, it's like the feminine is swept up in this moon energy. They're very cluttered. Their foundation has been shifted. This Five of Swords. No, this Five of Wands, this Five of Swords, judgment. Somebody felt judged. Libra energy and Three of Swords. Somebody may have said something very hurtful. This masculine may have said something very hurtful, or said something, just cut it off, and they're like, I'll just keep it short and sweet. But they actually came off very cold, and they feel like look how satisfied this masculine looks. They're like, I did a good job. Go me, you know? But really, this is the Three of Swords energy that's here, that's left behind. You got two swords here, because this masculine didn't make a decision. They're holding on to two swords there, which means they left three of these five swords in this feminine's heart. Ace of Wands. Now, if this is somebody, if you're dealing with somebody who lied, cheated, stole, one of the 7 deadly sins, you know, like someone who really did you wrong, whatever your cardinal sins are, your deal breakers are, if somebody did that, that's a karmic. That's somebody to tell you, you choose yourself, honey. And that's the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is always choosing yourself. If a relationship comes out of it, great. If you meet your person on this detour, right, this is like a detour back to self. This anxiety and this fear, this is all coming from the ground up. This is coming from within. This is coming from the pits of the fucking rock bottom that both of you have been in. Because this energy is coming out in both the masculine and feminine. We have the Two of Pentacles, again, more Capricorn energy. Balancing your I'm getting deeds and desires. So this can also be like what you want with your actions, like aligning your actions. Now it's in the show Evil. So, and it gets misconstrued. But there is a priest, and they're dealing with a boy. They're like, oh, is he possessed? They don't know, right? If you look into the show Evil, if you're curious. It's like a very easy watch kind of show that you don't really have to pay attention to. It's kind of some silly stuff, but this is one of the heavier ones, but there's the boy hates his sister. He's like a little demon child. And the kid who plays him does a really good job. He looks like a psychopath. But he's talking to the priest, and the priest's name is David, so maybe something with the name David. Day is also the sun. Day-o! Daylight come and me want go. Yeah, come home, honey. Like, what? I don't know. This disagreement feels really stupid. I think it's going to be not as bad as either one of you think, because it might not even be a disagreement. It might just be misperception, misinterpretation. But anyway, David's talking to the psychopath child, and the child's like, oh, I hate my sister, I hate everything, I want to kill my parents. He's like, talking psychopath kid stuff. And David, the priest in training, is like, you just ask God. You ask God for what you want, and then simultaneously there is like the evil guy, the demon guy, and he's talking to some young kid. He's trying to sculpt into a shooter, like to do his deeds or whatever. And he's just this young, lost kid. So he comes in, he's molding him. And he says, he's like, well, what is faith? He's like, the kid's like, I don't know about that. Like, it's a question of faith. It's a question of morality and faith and, what is God and how do I manifest if I'm not religious? How do I manifest if I'm not spiritual? There are business tactics to, like business-minded tactics, very pragmatic approaches to manifestation and law of attraction, right? So, you can merge those two together, and maybe that's what you two will be doing. But anyway, he's talking to this kid that he's trying to sculpt, and then this priest is talking to this other kid, and he's turning a maybe good kid into an evil kid, and he's trying to turn, or suggest an evil kid into being a good kid, right? There's this thing going back and forth. Maybe this isn't the same episode, but that's how I'm viewing it, so I'm just going to go with that. But the bad guy, I think his name's Leland, or something with the L. And this is also like psychiatry. I think he's a psychologist or psychiatrist turned bad, and then he's a thug and a military. He's a veteran. Why can't I think of that word? He did drugs, and he was a sex addict and all these things, and then he reformed and went into the priesthood. So there's this very dichotomy, duality, and all of these things. Like duality is more confrontational, and dichotomy is more like a coexisting of two opposing ideas, or two seemingly opposing ideas, perhaps, right? And that's that convergence. But he says, faith is just telling God what you want and then putting action behind it. And so it's, what you want, the masculine knows what they want, the feminine knows what they want, but the action has to come from the masculine. It can't come from the feminine, or the feminine is not in their divine feminine energy of receiving, of being open to receive. And this is a queen, so she's presenting in this very strong masculine independent energy. But underneath it all, she just is like an ooey gooey, wants 10 of cups. Women just want to be rescued. Charlotte says that. Maybe it's something with a dark-haired female. But that is also, if you ever watch Sex and the City, Charlotte, she is very much, she knows what she wants. She wants love. She wants a family. Like, she knows what the hell she wants, and she goes after it. So Aries energy as well. And that is that Queen of Wands, that fire energy. Fire energy goes after what it wants. The masculine does. The Queen gets what she wants in this fire energy. So we need, I mean, I think the Fool is like, the Fool's not going to be enough. This masculine's looking at this feminine with the strength and the Page of Swords. Like, they're going to have to come in with something more than just like a, I'm a, fucking clown. I love clowns. Y'all know. But this one, like, this masculine feels like a joker around this feminine. And maybe they always kind of like jump into being jokey or sarcastic, or like, there's like a mask, there's a charade going on, where there's some sort of, it's not malicious deception. It's like it's included in the insecurity of this masculine self-deception and self-destructive behavior that they're trying to balance. Like, look on this ball, like they're doing these tricks. It's like, they want to impress this feminine. They feel very impressed by this feminine. And the feminine's sitting over here like, oh my gosh, they're going to discover I'm just like Julia Roberts again. She's a Scorpio, so scorpionic energy again. A snake, breaking the cycle, 13 endings, death, rebirth, creation, destruction and creation. You two are going to come together, and you're very, very opposite. You're very different from each other. You come from completely different worlds, different mindsets, different spiritual beliefs probably. There could be an age difference. There could be major cultural differences. Could be a interracial couple, right? There's some sort of like seemingly vast difference. Anyway, there's like this vastness, seemingly vast space between you, but you are actually the same. And you serve each other, you serve the same purpose. This masculine just feels, Notting Hill. Yeah, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy. And then also more Capricorn energy, and Sagittarius, that's a temperance energy we had of patience, trusting in faith, relinquishing the ego, strengthening the ego, challenging the ego, and doing all of that fun shadow work and trusting in the process, blah, blah, blah. Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey in The Sunshine of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where she's like, I'm just a fucked up girl trying to like, figure out my own stuff. Like, I got my own problems and stuff. I'm not here to be your, like, stop putting me on a pedestal, because you're putting me on a pedestal, but it's just like, it's the same toilet everybody else sits on. It's the same, like 18 inches off the ground. I don't know how much. I'm like, you're putting me higher than need to be. In a way that it's not about not deserving it, because the Empress is deserving of recognition and being honored and being adored and respected and supported and all of these things. But there's a difference between respecting and honoring and supporting and doting and being like a groupie and being like, oh, we're not worthy, we're not worthy. If you feel any sense of like, this person's too good for me, then you're right. Because that is that's an area you need to go within and look at yourself and go, why do I feel like I am not good enough for this person? There's something there that's challenging the ego. The world, there could be a distance, but I think that this is like, you are going to be each other's world. And that's okay. right? Ten of Swords. Yeah, because I think that you've put your whole world in other people, or other people, places, things have become your whole world, and you've given your energy to them. But Ten of Swords tells me it was deception. And everybody's looking at this connection, particularly this masculine here. The whole world. There's an eye on this masculine. That masculine could have some sort of public platform in the community, or, you know, that could be an online community, that could be a physical community. Nine of Swords. And maybe that's part of what brings them, again, with Pretty Woman, there is that difference, that cultural difference. They might think like, oh my gosh, I'm going to bring a hooker to all of these, you know, hoity-toity business people, you know, event or whatever. But she's actually holding her own, and no one would even know. Yeah, there could be some sort of judgment here. It feels kind of ugly, but I'm not sure if it's coming from internally, if it's self-judgment. Page of Pentacles. Maybe that is a self-judgment. That's a worry. But in the movie, you know, everyone, she's doing fine. She's integrating with people. She's holding her own with the bitchy women. You know, she's talking with everybody, and it's fine. She's having a good old time, and she looks fabulous. Like, no one would know any different. But then he tells Stucky, his lawyer, and it is like, you know, not to put a bad name on lawyers or anything like that, but he represents that sort of like devil on the shoulder. Devil's advocate. Virgo energy. I don't know what Al Pacino is, but he's a badass. Three of Pentacles, Justice, the Hermit, more Virgo energy, more Libra energy. So yeah, maybe something in Virgo and Libra season, and or Libra season. Maybe you or your person are like a cusper, or have strong placements. The High Priestess and the Seven of Cups, but I saw 11 of Cups, which isn't in here. But 11 of Cups is so far beyond. Judgment again. I don't know. I get like this feminine ready to move on. Death. Yeah, ready to end this. Ready to get out of here. King of Swords. This masculine's not revealing anything. Five of Cups and the Emperor. There is a lack mindset. There's a lack of emotional reciprocity with this masculine that's keeping the Emperor from their Empress. Which means that this masculine is maybe sorting through that right now. Maybe dealing with that. Why do they view themselves as so low? Han Solo. Maybe they are solo. Maybe something with swans or birds, mating for life. You might see swans or white, or yeah, something with swans. Swan Lake, the swan. Music. Maybe you're going to go to some sort of show. Like Pretty Woman, maybe you're going to go to an opera. But maybe you're going to go see that, or that will be some, swans will be some sort of confirmation. Maybe something with trivia. Could be like that could be you two coming together and having a lot of questions for each other. You might meet at like a trivia night or something. But there's something with questions, the devil. So we have the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom here and the devil here, but they both are like beasts. These horned beasts. You both could be horned zodiac signs. Could be Capricorn, Ace of Pentacles. Could be the year of the dragon. But see, the devil and this dragon, two different decks, they both have this same star. One has it over their crown. which is a need to balance your connection with source. So that's all of that spirituality and evaluation of the spirit and nomenclature and what do I believe? What am I comfortable believing? Somebody is really worried about being judged by the external. But again, if they have a platform, they could be doing something totally different and they're not sure how people are going to, maybe very, very specific, but they could be someone who speaks about being single and now they're getting into a relationship. And so it's like kind of completely changed whatever they've been doing. Ace of Pentacles, theirs is over the heart. Theirs is over the heart. So there's a need to connect. The star is Aquarius energy, and it's also very intuitive energy. It's healing energy. You're going to be healing your connection with source and your connection with other people. And I think it's the feminine is doing heart chakra work, whether they know it or not. With the High Priestess coming out, I feel like the feminine does know that that's what's going on. The masculine, however, is connecting with source, and it's, again, if they like the way they are an emperor. They are an emperor, but there are blockages in the way that they express their emotions. And you would think, oh, they need to do, work on the heart chakra. They need to do work on their throat chakra. They need to express themselves, right? But this masculine is actually doing work on their crown chakra, which is their connection with source. They're getting a lot of downloads. They're receiving a lot of downloads. And see, the feminine is like getting it from the ground up. They're flip-flopped because the feminine has got a lot of 3D focuses going on right now. A lot of things that are making them feel unstable in their pentacle world. And those are the blockages in their heart chakra. Their belief, their self-belief system, self-empowerment. So maybe the taking pragmatic or like business-minded approaches to law of attraction, maybe the feminine is taking those on, and the masculine is more evaluating their feminine energy of being connected with source, right? So it's like you both started in your natural energy and then you sort of rotated. There's this like orbital convergence. It feels like some sort of galactic event. You two, which is what happens with a twin flame union. It's the masculine, the sun, and the feminine, the moon, eclipsing, right? The earth's out of the way. They are face to fucking face. That is the union, right? So there is, there's this sort of like, again, seemingly separate orbit from each other. Like this is never going to come together. But then there's some sort of galactic event. I'm just going to say that because that's what it feels like. It's in the ethers. An ethereal event that is bringing you two together. And it's this detour. It's like, people, corporations, organizations, whatever, they are all working together to deter star seeds, right? You're both star seeds here with the pentagram. You're both star seeds, and you might have, similar placements in your chart. It's like this, and it's difficult to describe because it is such a rare occurrence. It's like the eclipses, solar eclipses and the lunar eclipses, like they're different experience-wise on the twin flame journey. So there's some sort of, and maybe there's something going on. I'm not an astronomer or astrologist. I don't. But every time that I look into things, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And I'm linked with the moon. But other than that, I'm still learning those things. And I just sort of, because I don't like personally, I don't like knowing what's going to happen or trying to look into the future. Because I think that our egos just have a natural way of trying to get in and still change the outcome. So what's the use? You cannot change the outcome. You can do all the little detours, but the destination is going to be the same. The destiny is you and this person coming together. So it's like, but you needed this detour, you needed this demise, you needed this downfall, you needed this death. Something with the letter D, again, coming together. I mean, the D is... the D is very powerful. D is a very powerful letter. You know, I mean, and maybe you have another letter that you're seeing that's very powerful in your path that is a synchronicity right now for you. And yeah, maybe that's popping up a lot, a number or some sort of sign. But you're both starseeds, you're both coming together. It's all great and grand. I don't know. It's a very heavy, I'm like, oh gosh, like, sweaty, passionate energy. I mean, there is a lot of very exciting energy, and it doesn't just feel sexual. It's so far beyond that. I mean, so if I need to clarify that, then the wrong people are peeking in on this message, I guess, or the right people, because you probably need to like, look into things beyond the physical body, because that's so limiting. Physical body is pretty cool. The human body is amazing. Okay. 2 6s, 2 2s. And a 3 just jumped out at the bottom. So it's like the masculine is in, you could be a life path number 6, you could be a life path number 2. And then we've got, 12, 14, 16, 7. So numerology, it adds up. If I did that math right or not, I'm not going to keep going back and checking it. So maybe those numbers, letters, maybe there's some synchronicities in there for you. Action. I mean, it's free will. It's just prolonging the inevitable. Because again, it's like, no matter what happens, you guys are coming together. So I'm not sure that there's anything else to say. I don't think there's anything else that's like pressing here. Again, and maybe I'm saying that for a reason, because about not wanting to peek into the future, because that's it's like you almost want it to be a surprise. Even though it's going to happen, you want it to be a surprise, because it's going to be a very sweet surprise. You know, even if you're kind of like, oh my gosh, you know, it's still, even if you get word or wind, maybe this is going to be some sort of proposal, maybe this is going to be some sort of invitation to do something. Maybe this is just you discovering that you both are interested in each other, that you both have these same fears. Maybe it's going to come out, all the cards are going to come out on the table, and you're going to go, oh shit. And so even if you get wind of this, or you just feel it coming, you know that it's going to come, it's still going to, I feel, be a surprise. And I don't want to say shock, because shock feels jarring. Like you almost go back with shock as like a retreat. This is not a shock. You may have had a shock with this person, and then that caused a separation, and now you're coming back together. But this convergence, this coming together for you both is going to be a surprise. Even if you're someone who you normally don't like, people who don't like surprises have usually been shocked a lot in their life. This is not going to be a shock. You know, ease your mind, ease your heart. This is going to be a very welcome, wonderful surprise when all of this silly miscommunication gets cleared up and this action comes into play. So it's like the masculine needs a cue from the feminine needs a cue from the masculine. So feminine, send out your cues in the 5D. If you don't know how to do that, stick around. Yeah, put yourself in that state of being, of attracting and calling in the frequency of the version of your person that you want, because that reality is there. Okay? If that feels too big, just do things in your everyday life, like take your mind off of it, stop focusing on it, put your energy into yourself. Self-love always wins. Choosing yourself is always the right choice, right? Masculines, you can drop your guard a little bit. Maybe clear up that frosted glass or put a little cleaner on that mirror, because the feminine's looking at their reflection and it's like there's a bunch of shit on that mirror and they're having a hard time seeing it. And if it's that frosted glass metaphor, then, you know, clear it up, help your feminine out, ease their mind. Because if you want to feel stable, your feminine has to feel stable. If you want to feel supported and powerful and abundant and continue to grow and expand and create, your feminine has to, that's where all of that energy comes from. That is feminine energy, creative energy, right? So you have to nurture the vessel for that creative energy that you want to implement into your 3D reality, masculines, to pursue whatever dream that you have in mind, which is that 10 of Pentacles, that growing old together, that foundation. That feminine needs those swords out of her foundation, because she's not going to take a leap of faith if there's a bunch of fucking swords. I mean, who would do that? Except somebody who is like, I'm over it. Yeah, that's a different type of YOLO. That's not a YOLO that you want to be with. This is somebody that you're going to live with fruitfully, abundantly. There's a lot of light, but you want that light to be very clear. So masculines, use your fire, your active energy, and your swords, your communicative energy, and make a move. Or don't. Free will. Feminines, water and earth. Ground yourself. Right? Ground yourself and nurture yourself. Fill yourself up, fill your cup up, and sit. Practice patience, practice trust, practice all the feminine characteristics of energy work. And then your masculine will feel safe enough to come to you and make you feel safe, right? Help you feel safe in this world, right? Okay, I hope there was something in here for you. Until next time, I wish you well.